I'm Claudine Wong, joining you from the San Francisco Bay Area, and I'm joined now by Annabelle Marie, who is the founder, the director of the Valina Children's Choir, and I've also heard you described as the Inspire-in-Chief on your website. So thanks for joining us.
You're welcome. I'm happy to be here.
You're coming from Benicia, California, and one of the reasons that we wanted to chat is because you are doing something at night that for your neighborhood, simply for the love of music, how it can all make us survive this crazy time that we are living in just a little bit easier. I want to let people listen in to what you're doing. And so this is Hallelujah. This is outside on your porch, correct? Because we set it up so people know what we're looking at.
My deck. Yeah.
Your deck. Okay, so let's listen in for just a moment here. Okay, how badly do I want to be your neighbor right now? Tell me about this. Tell me about, I mean, you obviously have a beautiful backdrop to do this on, but tell me what inspired you to walk out, and have you ever done this before we were in this moment of sheltering in place, coronavirus? I love those kayakers. They're like, what just happened? This is the best.
Yeah. I know they're waving their oar.
I love it. How did you come up with this idea?
Our neighborhood, we've always had quite the personal relationships with everybody in our neighborhood. But it's usually been like a drive-by and a wave, because we've been so busy. And so one of our neighbors, Tracy, asked if we could, do a whole music thing, because she had just bought in at Benicia, and she had this family from Italy come over, and they were talking about how crazy it is in Italy, and they just barely got out of Italy to get over here. So she was saying, why don't we just open with That's Amore by Dean Martin? Just open up with that, and let's all sing that. So everybody printed out the lyrics. We all came out on our deck at 6 p.m. and played the song, attempted to all sing it. And then one of them yelled from one of the other houses and said, "Play your violin." So I ran back in, grabbed my violin, and played. And I posted it on Facebook, and it got so much attention. Everybody wanted to know, "Are you doing this every night?" And I was like, "Sure, I can."
Yes.
And then before you knew it, it was like such an uplifting kind of thing for everyone. And people started in Facebook replying and saying, can you play such and such song, which is my favorite, the next night? Can you play this the next night? And before you know it, I'm playing every night. And
which is great. I'm sure you love it, right? I mean, you're a performer.
Oh, it feels so good. Feels so good.
It's good for the soul. I think it's good for people to listen to it. It's good for people to hear it. It's good to know that it's coming. Like there's so many different parts of that, I think, that help kind of, just lift us up a little bit higher, and we could use a little lifting these days.
Yes, we could. And we have a different perspective now because of this idea of social distancing, and music is the thread. I really believe that. And music brings people together. It's the universal language, and I mean, I'm dealing with it with my own children's choir.
Yeah,
they're
tell
not
us
able
about
to see each
yeah,
other.
tell us about the Valina Children's Choir, because you guys have been everywhere. You've performed at the White House. You've been all over the world. You've been at the Olympics. I mean, this children's choir doesn't seem to really encapsulate what the children in this choir are required to do and what they're capable of doing, how talented they are.
Yeah, this is a very, when I started this children's choir about 25 years ago, I had this idea of having a very different kind of children's choir. I didn't want it to be traditional. And I loved world music because my father was an Air Force pilot. So I lived all over the world. And so I wanted to have something that was all about world music, and all about physicality. My own children were in the circus and ended
Wow.
up working, yeah, and ended up working for Cirque du Soleil. And I loved the idea of how music and costuming and physicality could be part of their story. So, and I also believe that the voice being inside the body, then the whole body should express it. That's what I believe. So I kind of went out on the limb. My colleagues kind of shunned me for it because it wasn't traditional. But I did it anyways, took the risk, and they became known for how different they are and how they use their physicality to express their music. And so it got the attention of the White House, for President Bush and President Clinton. And
Yeah, I'm going to
recently
pull up your website right now just because I can, and to show people some of the pictures as we're talking about, because you talk about the costuming and the physicality. I mean, and the work that these children put in is pretty incredible. How many people in the choir?
yes, we have over 100 now.
Wow. And they're coming from all over the
Yeah.
Bay Area?
Yes, from all over the Bay Area. And we have boys and girls ages 5 all the way up to 18. And they're just, we train them to feel like such a family. And so, when this whole thing hit, I had some kids suffering from depression over it. So I was thinking, I was doing video rehearsals for them. But then I was thinking, how can we get them to feel together? How can we do that? Even though they can't physically be together.
And so that's when you came up with this virtual choir idea, and it's been done. It's not an easy thing to do. I think people don't realize that it is a little complicated to get done. But I think the impact is pretty significant when kids do it.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and well, thank goodness for one of my parents, Tony Shannon, who is he's a guru at software development and trying to figure out how to accomplish this kind of editing. Valina had sung for a world choir back in 2018 that Eric Whitaker had put together when he did a Carnegie Hall debut, and 17 of my girls were chosen to be part of that. So he is known for this virtual choir idea, splicing all these videos together.
Yeah, that's amazing.
So I went to Tony Shannon and I said, I want to do this. Can we do this? And he said, well, let's try.
Let's try it. Well, let me show people at home what "Let's Try It" look like, because I think you got it. Here we go. Let's see.
I said your love keeps lifting, said it keeps on lifting, higher, lifting me higher and higher, higher. Said your love keeps lifting me, keeps on lifting me, higher, lifting me higher and higher, higher. Oh, I whip my loving arms around you, and you know that I face the world. Your love keeps lifting me higher than I've ever been lifted before. So give it up
So I love this, Annabelle, in terms of all these kids in their homes and doing this. And I imagine that when you put it out to them and said, do you want to do this? No one said no.
Yeah, no one said no. And our issue was how many video submissions can we handle? And we were maxed out. And now we're trying to think, okay, how can we handle 100 videos and get this all together? You know, it was hard to sync it up. It's really hard. And then we figured it out. If everybody does a clap at the same count into the piece, so we chose count 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And if they all do that, we can sync the clap. And now I think it'll be easier. So
that's fantastic.
We're about to see.
Do you think, because you're working on another one right now?
Yes. We, you know, our hope was to do one a week. We'll see. Maybe it'll be a week and a half. But yeah, we're doing another one now, and we're going to use different groupings of our group. So this next one will be a song that I arranged for the kids called He Lives in You. And it will have our top level girls, and it will also have our alumni, some of our alumni in it.
Oh, that's fantastic. That really allows people. I mean, I know we do. There's a viral video going around of the Hamilton group doing a performance as well, and you know, I think it helps. You mentioned some of your kids are having a tough time. I mean, we're all having a little bit of a tough time, I think, wrapping our heads around it. But you got to worry for the young people as well on how they manage this and how they learn what the outlet is. You know, I imagine for you, the outlet of being able to play your violin is a lesson to really kind of even how that moment can really have such a huge impact.
Yeah, it's true. And you know, that was just an accident. It's something how things happen like this as an accident. And it's turned into practically a movement. So some of my Valina kids now are doing videos in front of their beautiful backgrounds with them singing inspirational songs. And that's helping them through social media to still feel socially connected. So we're posting some of those, and I think you know, all over the world, people are getting that idea of the music connection, and it's so special to me, and I'm glad that it's becoming special to people that didn't know how special it could be. You know.
Well, I think it is in this place where you see in Italy they have done that, and in other places they have certainly said, you know, this is something that is something that binds us. This is of course you're doing bridge over troubled water. We are over a little bit of some troubled water these days. You know, that leads us maybe to have inspiration in other ways we can express ourselves. You know, I talked to a photographer who takes pictures because of people on their porches, because that's a different way to express how we're feeling, and maybe how we look back on this and how it's documented in the ways of the difficult times, but also the really inspirational ones.
Yes, I agree. It's a special time, and I like to focus on that and help the kids focus on that. And our neighbors certainly, as you could see, are focusing on that. Let's help make this a special time to find meaning in this time.
Well, like I said, I mean, I'd like to be your neighbor. I mean, that's fantastic. You know, and people are submitting requests, and you know, I mean, is the violin your one instrument? Because it sounds like you are musically inclined in so many ways.
Well, I also play piano.
That's a little harder to put out on the porch.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I have, and some of my kids, you know, in the Valina choir, you're going to see them in the next video, playing bass, playing guitar, playing percussion. So
we look forward to that. That'll be amazing. I think no limits, right, on what can be done and what maybe should be done in these times.
Well, also we have time now.
So much time.
We have time to Google and figure out how to do all this stuff.
Yes, I mean, because normally, how often were your kids practicing?
Well, we were meeting once a week, and I have some outlander sites, I call them. One in Katati, one in Redwood City that was also meeting once a week. And the Zoom was proving to be impossible because we couldn't have an ensemble sound at the same time. Zoom is one at a time pretty much. So yeah, once
that's
a
an
week.
interesting thing. Yes, I didn't even think about that, but yes, it does prefer one speaker at a time as opposed to all speakers at any given time. Some of the things we're all learning so quickly about Zoom.
Yes. So this is a way, you know, with my video rehearsals that I do for them, and the virtual choir, and the Facebook posts, you know, it's a way for this connection, and it's a way to try to lift especially my seniors. They're having a hard time, especially because, you know, this was their last concert season and the concerts are canceled.
Yeah.
And then they're going off to college, right? So they had their own senior song, and
oh, I know it is crushing, but you know, I pull up one last video that you sent me, Somewhere Over the Rainbow, right? I think if I guess I take away from this, right, that if we take this moment and have them, we don't get the concert, but we get some pretty remarkable performances and pretty remarkable outreach and ways to share the music in this difficult time, then they'll remember those as well.
Yes, I certainly will. I think you certainly will.
I will too.
And
yes.
I know that my Facebook people certainly are. They're sharing it like crazy. So it's very good thing. Very good thing.
It's amazing. All right.
Yeah.
Well, Annabelle Marie, the founder director of Valina Children's Choir and the violin player on the Bay extraordinaire, we appreciate the talk so much and look forward to more concerts and more virtual choirs and more music in this tough time as we look to brighter days ahead.
Well, I thank you. Every night at 6. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes. Every night at 6.
So
All right.
much.
And for
Thank
more,
you.
you can log on to coronavirusnow.com.